Hi guys, happy Halloween. I hope you have had a great day so far and are getting ready to have a safe and fun weekend. I wanted to come on here and pull some message cards from your person's higher self, see what they want you to know at this time. Okay, so I've looked into tarot readings, yeah, so it feels like this person is trying to get some information about you, if you're single, if you're seeing anyone, what the future holds in this situation. That can involve, like, literally they've gotten tarot readings, they've consulted a psychic, or this could even be somebody trusted in their life that has a really strong intuition, that they've said to them, like, I need another set of eyes on this situation. I know how I feel, but what are you as an intuitive person? What are you seeing? Is there anything that I'm just wrapped up in my feelings, caught up in the moment, that I need to take into consideration that can either help the relationship moving forward, or anything that might be kind of a conflict or a potential obstacle between the two of you in the future that might need to be addressed now or taken into consideration that can determine this person's next steps towards you. They also say, I know we are being spiritually guided. So they feel that you are a very exceptional person, because as much as they have maybe tested this connection, or they've shown you some kind of aspects within themselves where maybe they're fearful of commitment, or it's taking a lot on their part to remain very consistent with you, maybe the intensity of these energies or their feelings, or again, the sense of being very drawn to you, but wanting to be very certain that this is the right situation, that you're the right person, that has caused them to kind of put the brakes on in this situation, or try different approaches to sort of see, like, okay, things are really great when everything is moving well between us, when, you know, I'm showing up in a very positive energy, but what happens when I'm not so easy to deal with? What happens when I'm stressed out? What happens when I'm busy? What happens when I have to prioritize other things like work, family, career, over what we have with each other? And so this can also be something where this person is almost thinking to themselves, you seem like you're too good to be true. Like, you're not just a doormat. You're not just letting them get away with whatever. But as much as they've tried to, like, push or test, or, you know, they've kind of like put up their boundaries, you're responding in kind with like your own series of tests, your own series of boundaries. You're not somebody that is going to be easily swayed by like the ups and downs within this person. You've got your own life, you've got your own individuality, you've been through some things in love and in life, and so it feels like you and this person are really on the same page as far as, like, I know what I'm feeling, but I need somebody to show me with consistent actions that this can be more than just chemistry. This can be more than just raw potential. And so far, they are very certain that you are the person that it is in their best interest to keep moving forward towards. And whoever that they have consulted, or that they've kind of recruited to sort of help them look at the situation from a different angle or get a different perspective, it feels like has given them the green light as well. Everything checks out as far as you are concerned. And it feels like whoever this is that they have sort of confided in, or maybe expressed some sort of doubts to about, like, I know what I'm feeling, but I don't know if I'm just kind of, letting my heart or like a romantic tendency within me kind of get the better of me. Am I headed in the right direction with this person, or is this something I'm going to regret later on? It feels like this person or these people are really impressed with you and are trying to counsel this person, trying to sort of help this person work through commitment issues. Maybe they were married before, or in some kind of a long-term relationship before that left a lot of emotional damage within them. And so in the interest of this person, like, moving forward with their life, or, moving forward with you in some sort of way, it feels like the people that they have in their corner that have taken a look at this are trying to kind of provide them with reassurances, like, it's safe to love, it's safe to open up to this situation, it's safe to trust in this situation. There are no guarantees as far as long-term outcomes within any circumstances. That's just life. But this person is getting a lot of reassurance that you are someone solid, you are someone stable, you are someone with a kind heart, with a good heart, with pure intentions. that it's safe to move forward with. This is a safe landing place for this person, emotionally speaking. So there's a lot of support surrounding this connection and your person's future actions towards you at this time. They also say, I'm feeling the consequences of my choices and actions. So if they put some distance between the two of you, especially if it was kind of like, you know, they were triggered, sort of like, okay, things are going well, almost a little too well. Is there something that I'm not seeing here? Let me try and shake things up. You know, instead of kind of just trying to show up and put my best foot forward, let me try to prioritize myself for a minute. So maybe they've had a lot going on with work or other things going on in their life in general. And rather than sort of leaning upon you or leaning upon this connection as a safe space during that period of time, they may have like pulled their energy back and like, I need to focus on what I have to accomplish. I need to focus on other things in my life. And there's a sense of almost regretting having done that because it's created some confusion within you, or people that they've had kind of look into the situation or are aware of the situation are encouraging this person to, you know, the next time stressors come up, the next time that they feel sort of afraid at how good things are and that it's too good to be true, they're getting a lot of advice to fight against that fear and lean towards you in this situation. Give you the opportunity, give this connection the opportunity to really prove that this is something that is not just here when things are wonderful, but this is something that are here when things are not good, when your person's not feeling the best, when they're cranky, when they're stressed out, when money's tight, or they have long-term goals that they're working toward that may be putting a lot of pressure on them. They're getting a lot of reassurances that, you know, the next time around, the next time, you know, a hiccup like this happens in their life or in their reality, that they can contribute to the long-term staying power of this connection by really trusting in what they've built with you, who you are as a person, that you are somebody who is here for them in good times and in bad. And we also have, I'm going to take action. I'm just planning the approach. Yeah, so this person wants to have a conversation with you, a deep conversation where they reveal some truths that they had kept hidden. There may be an apology that is in store for you, some kind of declaration of love, something that is almost like a little treat or a little reward on the other side of passing some kind of test that they had established. And there's a sense of them really wanting to kind of move beyond, evolve beyond that energy of second guessing this situation. It feels like as much as you've kind of held your own or you've gone with the flow of this process, you are also really helping this person to release attachment issues, heal wounds from previous disappointments, things where this person really may be in the midst of like blissful, loving energies with you, and they get a flashback to some experience in their past where those familiar feelings were experienced with another person who left them high and dry, pulled the rug out from under them, or even like a marriage or a long-term connection that fell apart. So the more that they're able to kind of pull back their energy and then gravitate towards you, and you know, you're not just giving them open access, but it's like, okay, you're coming back around, we're going to need to kind of exchange more with one another than we did when you pulled away. And that's how trust is reestablished. That's how solidification of the connection is established. That's how deeper layers of intimacy are established. You being very firm and determined in that. Like, if you come back around, you got to show me that you've been doing some homework on the side. You got to show me that there's been something going on behind the scenes that would lead me to believe through your actions that it'll be a better and different experience than what happened whenever, you know, you got startled, you got spooked, you got triggered, you know, there was miscommunication, you pulled away, or life just kind of got in the way and you needed to disconnect, whatever that was. The more that you're holding the standard high, which it feels like people in their life are also really applauding as well, because you're helping this person to mature emotionally. You're helping them to release that kind of like fear of love, fear of commitment, even though it's what they want more than anything, that special experience with a special person. And so you're really being the guide or the way shower for them in this sense that is encouraging them to trust a little bit more, to relax into the situation more. And so it feels like if they're not able to speak on that directly, they either don't have the words to talk about that, or it may, be something that's kind of vulnerable, makes them feel a little bit exposed. It feels like when they come back around, when you next have contact with this person, in the very near future, there's going to be some kind of show of affection, some kind of token that they give you, or maybe even a discussion that starts to happen about becoming more of a permanent part of one another's lives. That is evidence that, they're very grateful for you. They're grateful for the time that they have with you, the opportunity to experience this, even as frightening and triggering as it may be emotionally at times. There's a sense of you're the best thing that has happened to this person, because you're walking with them. You're holding their hand actually and energetically as they make the choice to step beyond the defeatist attitudes in love, the hurt and the heartbreak from the past. You're nothing like those people they dealt with in the past. And so this is somebody who is in the process of surrendering those fear-based energies and really leaning into that place of love and trust that what they can have with you moving forward will help them to kind of close the door permanently on all those disappointments they experienced in their past. And they also say, I act happy, but I'm not. So it feels like they're missing you right now. They're regretting kind of hitting pause on the situation or taking a step back, or anything that has kind of, legitimately sort of shown up in their life that they've needed to sort of pour all their time and effort and energy into. There's a lonely feeling. It's like they're missing your light. They're missing your warmth. They're missing your conversations. They're missing the consistency of your presence. So it feels like they're trying to wrap up some things, tie up some loose ends, and they're very interested in heading back in your direction in order to experience a deeper level of satisfaction and contentment, just even in simple little moments. Even if you're sitting around watching a movie, doing the Netflix and chill thing, there's a sense that provides them with a sense of feeling at home, in a way that, even if they're just in their own space, they're in their own comfort zone, they're just doing their own thing, they've had a taste of your energy, they've had a taste of the experience with you. And so everything else kind of pales into comparison. Everything else just feels kind of lonely and empty without you. And so they're wanting to create more closeness, more intimacy with you. And they also say the thought of explaining myself and apologizing scares me. I don't want to see the pain I've caused in your eyes. So this relates to somebody that may have intentionally been kind of testing the situation, sort of like, okay, things are going really well, but it almost seems like it's going a little too well. So what happens if I'm not so agreeable? What happens if I'm not so easy to connect with? What happens if, I'm kind of pulling my energy back into myself? Are you still going to love me? Are you still going to be there for me? Are you still gonna be able to, kind of put your ego aside enough to walk a mile in my shoes, or to hold space until I'm ready to come forth to you and kind of explain my methods, explain, who I am, what's going on inside or in my life at this particular point in time? So they know they need to kind of make up for some kind of miscommunication or disappointment. There's a sense of not wanting to get your hopes up and let you down anymore as well. So it feels like they're putting in a lot of effort in order to kind of create more certainty within themselves, be a little more comfortable as far as what you have with one another or the experiences together, in order to be able to not kind of recoil at the first trigger that comes up in the future. There's a sense this might have gone on for a while between the two of you, this kind of hot and cold or back and forth energy, and there's a sense within them of enough is enough. It doesn't serve either of us. It doesn't serve the future of this situation for me to be in doubt, for me to play little games, or to even kind of let wounds of the past dictate my actions in this circumstance with you, who is a unique and beautiful person and different from anyone I had been dealing with in the past that, kind of took my heart for a ride or left me worse for wear. We also say, I know you are my twin flame. So for those of you that resonate with that title, with that label, it feels like this person is also, considering such things, maybe not in those exact words, but, a soulmate, a significant connection, the love of their life, the one. They are drawn to you like a moth to the flame. And there's a sense that the passion and the intensity and the honesty with which you have loved them, with which you have, shown them aspects of yourself, you've held space for them. This is different than what they've experienced with others. Even when they've taken a step back from this connection, they're drawn to you in those quiet moments, in those thoughts. They can feel you energetically. And this may be another reason that they've consulted some other people in their life. Like, I don't know what's going on. I've never experienced this with anyone before. I'm not able to detach as I have in the past. Feelings have come on very quickly. There's a lot of signs and synchronicities going on. I feel this person energetically, and I don't know what's going on in that capacity. And so if they have anyone in their life that is, spiritually minded, or again, like intuitive or sensitive, they've had another set of eyes or other people kind of looking at the situation who are like vouching for you that this is safe. This is a unique situation. This is something that's almost like a storybook romance or something that would be great for a movie. And so it feels like there's a lot of people that are like, they want to see how this plays out. They themselves have never experienced a connection like this personally, or have never seen something like this in real life, in real time, in action between two people. And so a lot of people are pushing this person to kind of trust in this, surrender with this, go with the flow, that this is a unique opportunity, a unique experience with you. They definitely feel stronger when they are with you than when they are apart. As much as there may be some silence or periods of disconnect between the two of you, they're yearning for you, they're longing for your energy, they're wanting to come home to you and create more closeness. And they also say it was you. It was always you. So this person is feeling like they didn't really know what love was prior to meeting you. The feelings that they have inside, kind of who they have grown and developed into as a person since they've been interacting with you. You bring out the best within them, and they may have experienced connections in the past with people where both parties brought out the worst in each other. So they have that point of contrast. They've got that point of comparison. They know what the lowest of the low feels like romantically speaking, and there may be a little fear as far as what they have with you or what they've experienced with you is concerned, because it's like the polar opposite of everything they thought they knew of love and partnerships before, everything they thought they were looking for or were worthy of receiving, how they should show up in connections, or even the role of the other party in that romance. And there's a sense of you have helped to rewrite those rules in a beautiful way. You've created a blank slate for this person, and it's like the sky's the limit. We can dream anything into being that we want within this situation. You've given this person a lot of creative license or freedom to kind of expand into that best version of themselves. And you've definitely set the tone, it feels like, by continuing to prioritize your goals, your well-being, your own needs. You're not just having like an open door policy with them, but again, it's like they've taken note of the pattern enough of when they've pulled their energy back and then they've come back towards you, that it's like a step up, it's an up level each time. Not just that you're telling this person, hey, you better earn my trust back, or I want you on your knees groveling and begging for my forgiveness, or, to gain access to my energy again. But it's a sense of like they return towards you, and even if it's just been a little short break, you've already up leveled, energetically, actually. You're not somebody who's just going to sort of sit and wallow over this situation. Maybe you did that for a period of time with this person, but there's almost like a new pattern that's been established between the two of you of like, okay, at this stage in our connection or in our lives, or, just in general, it's kind of like those times where you're apart, times even maybe where you are triggered and you kind of create barriers for this person. You step away or you push them away because it feels like you're both kind of doing this with one another in tandem at different times. There's like healing that takes place. It's a healing experience when you come back together, but you're really modeling for this person what it means to sort of sit with those triggers, do that internal shadow work, and not come out the other side of that sort of shut down and hardened and bitter, but the sense of like, okay, I've gained some perspective within myself, or I can give you grace enough to, not sort of poke and pry and try to figure out, well, what have you been doing in the time apart? What are the lessons that you've learned? What are you going to show me that's different than what you did before? But it's almost like you're walking in a new direction or with a new vibe or a new attitude, and it helps this person to really kind of match that or lift themselves up in the way that they're now seeing that at times it may be difficult, this kind of back and forth, or it's very challenging to their pride and ego. But every time they sort of choose the path of love and they don't allow the path of fear to keep you apart or keep them in that kind of withdrawn sort of energy, they're noticing that like many areas of their life blossom for that. They feel stronger as a person. They feel better. They feel more reassured as well for these wounds and these fears. That you almost accept those parts of them just as much as you accept kind of the light and the healed aspects of them. So they're feeling very balanced with you, very much like this connection is in their best interests. There's a lot of personal growth that can happen as a person, and also redefining the rules of love or what love can be. And people in their life are really vouching for this as, like the best thing that has ever happened to them. They may have asked certain people, like, I think this is the one, I think this is the person that I want to marry, I think this is the right connection. And unanimously, everybody is like, yeah, go for that. Do what you need to do in order to keep up with that person who is going to challenge you, but it's helping to bring out the best in you, because through these challenges, the best in them is also coming out as well. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you'd like a personal reading, there's a link in the bio for that. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.